Hey guys, welcome to the special marathon training series on the Mike White podcast. Clark and I are planning to run a marathon at the end of 2023, so we'll be getting together every week on the podcast, discussing how our training's going and what the path is moving forward. Hope y'all enjoy. Clark Blunt, another week in the books, done. How's it feel?
I'm glad to have that week over with.
Yeah,
But I'm feeling
it was rough.
it was a rough one. It was definitely a jump up.
So I have one big takeaway. I was thinking of today. Do you have anything that became more clear to you after this week of running?
Um I I think that I probably need to start focusing on getting more sleep because that kind of feels like a grind in the run, and then I've got work afterwards, and so I kind of grind, shower, go to work, and then come home. I feel like I need to probably start prioritizing rest.
Yeah, and then you got to eat too. So
Oh yeah.
how do you what's your process? Do you cook like meal prep type stuff, or are you cooking every night?
I'm doing that not every night. I try to get as much done on Sunday. Uh, so I've been having, but I guess I do a lot of the times I'll make like a pot of rice, and so that that kind of holds me over at nighttime. But for the most part, I try to make as much as I can on Sunday for the week.
Yeah. What would you say takes up most of your time post work and running? Is there anything you can like maximize or shave some tents somewhere else to make sleep a little easier?
Well, I mean, I think for the most part, my entire life is run, work, and then like walk and take care of the dog.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't live a it's not super exciting right now, but I'm sure and work is kind of chaotic, so I'm sure once that kind of calms down, I think I'll have more time.
Yeah. Do they just not have enough people, or are they you think you guys are going to hire soon, or just stuff's
Yeah,
breaking?
yeah. Well, I'm in charge of a lot over here. But yeah, stuff keeps breaking and so but we are looking to hire new people, and I assume that's going to make life a little bit easier to distribute that load.
Yeah. It's tough. Like, I don't know. I think one good approach is to shave tents and every single other thing that you have to do, like this Adam Carolla's thing where he'll on the microwave, even this is his philosophy, where he won't do 30 seconds, he'll do 33 because he doesn't want to have to lift his finger up to the zero, and you just hit 3-3 and go. So stuff like that, I try, I think that's a cool way to try to think, okay, how else can I save time? But I know in submarines I did not make time at all to work out or sleep, and it's terrible. And sleep is something where once you you don't get enough of, like it seems like it affects everything else, and it's just not a good place to be. But I don't know if what's your number or hours wise?
Oh, I always try to target like 7, um and then I really hope to always get at least 6.
Yeah, I like that. It's crazy to me how much it varies. Like you'll see, was it that Jocko Willink guy talk about he's good with 4 and he doesn't need to sleep at all. And my dad's like that. My dad will he would he sometimes just sleeps throughout the day. Like never actually has, especially when he was working night shift. Like he would kind of go to bed during the day, but you would just always be up and take like 20-minute naps all throughout the day, which seems insane, but I guess some people can function like that.
It is funny to see that. But anyways, how was your week? Did you feel like you made some progress?
Well, yes, but also, so I thought this was a key takeaway for me is I was hurting after Tuesday. I got up and my whole Achilles down to my ankle on my right leg was just tender, and I I didn't. I was like, this. I don't know how I'm going to run on this. Like I probably could. I knew I could if I wanted to really push through it, and it was gonna hurt. And and then I was thinking, okay, what's the objective? Why would I run, or why am I running? And there is, I want to have that 7:30 pace, the goals we set here, but more like a broader goal is for my health, overall health. And I was like, okay, why would I run on this leg and possibly strain it if that conflicts with that overall goal? But then I was also thinking another benefit of doing this marathon and training is the self mastery and discipline aspect of it, to where it's something like you said, it's not fun to do all these every day. But the consistency, the pushing yourself and doing things that aren't fun for a greater goal that is rewarding, I think is beneficial, and can get, even though yeah, it's just one aspect of life in health, but I'm a believer of that discipline is like a muscle that you have to work out. That the more disciplined you are in other aspects of your life, the easier it is to be disciplined in something that the next project. So those are the conflicting things. It's like, okay, if I was truly disciplined and wanted just to push through everything, I would do it. But then health and fitness wise, I could strain my leg. And so I came to the conclusion it made most sense to not run that day, but with the intent of making it up type thing, because we had the Saturday off day. So I was like, okay, I can run on Saturday if I'm feeling better, but I think a day off would really help my leg. And that's what I ended up doing. I felt fine after that. I had my best pace so far. I had an 8:11 for one of the 8:11 pace for one of the 7 mile runs, and usually I've been up in the mid eights to low nines. So I think that was the right decision. I wanted to hear your take though.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I think what you said is important because especially training like this, it's going to take consistency. Um, and I think it also so there's a point of where you're going to say it's important for me to get through this, but I also think it's important for you to say to be diligent in saying, okay, this is how my body feels. This is how I need to respond to this. So, um, I obviously we're going through it in different ways. So taking a day off probably would be tough for me to do, but especially with something like that, it might take some time to recover. So that might have been just the perfect call. Sometimes um, deciding to do some sort of cross training is just the better option. So like going into the pool and either aqua jogging or swimming laps or maybe even jumping on a recumbent bike is a good option as well. It's not a one-to-one substitute for running, but I think there's a lot of validity in listening to what your body's telling you. So I think you did what was right for you.
And I'm glad you touched on that too, because for the discipline aspect and the self mastery, one of my things was, as long as I'm moving, I'm doing something, I would have felt like productive, and I'm not skipping out on it and being weak type thing. So I did. It wasn't like a swim or something that would help my cardio, but I went ahead and did my pull up workout that I like to do. So in that case, I was still able not to compromise on like the discipline aspect, even though I didn't run. But and it depends too. Like I watched the Kansas City Jacksonville football game yesterday, the playoffs, and Mahomes sprains his ankle like early in the game, and that's a playoff game, right? Like they have to win or they're out. So that's one of those things where, yeah, he'll push through that where because of the situation, and so it really depends on what you're doing. Like if you did that in practice, he's not practicing anymore, but you know, on game day in the playoffs, he's going to push through it. In the
Yeah.
marathon, if something starts bothering me on the marathon day, I probably gonna push through it. It's I can recover after if I as long as I know I'm not gonna do some major damage. If I don't have a bone sticking out of my body, then I'll probably just push through it and deal with the consequences after. So I think it depends on the situation.
Absolutely. But I do know you, and I think even if you did have a bone sticking out of your body, you probably still cross that finish line.
What's the Austin Powers Will Ferrell? It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Mufasa, is that his character? You know what scene
Is
I'm
that what
talking
it
about,
is?
right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He rolls down the hill.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let's hear this week's plan.
All right. Nothing too crazy this week. We're just going to start focusing on mileage. So for Monday, we're going to have 8 miles with another 20-second strides. We're going to have six of those 20-second strides. Tuesday, we'll have a 20-minute warm up leading to a 30-minute tempo run at a marathon pace.
So
So
when you
I'll
say
be running.
marathon, oh yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, I think you were about to answer. I cut you off. What your
So
pace was going to be?
I'm gonna do my absolute best to run this entire tempo at 650 pace, which I think I can do.
Nice.
And
It's
then,
booking it.
oh yeah, it's gonna feel a little fast for me, but I think it'll be fine. How about you? Where are you planning on running this?
Since you did 650, I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to shoot for 730. I haven't pushed
There you
myself
go.
like that, but I think especially after this last one, I think I could do it.
Well, all right. I think it'll be good. And then don't forget, we'll also have a 20-minute cool down. Wednesday, we'll be looking for an hour long run, just nice and conversational pace there. Thursday, 8 miles with another six 20-second strides in the middle. Friday, we'll have a 20-minute warm up with a fartlek with 1 minute on, 30 seconds off, and that's going to be times 20. So we'll do that 20 times. And then in my notes, I say you can walk the offs. And we want to run those ons at about 5K pace. So can you imagine what you'd run your 5K pace at?
I guess that should be faster than the tempo.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't like that. I don't like that
Oh
idea.
no, but it, those whenever you got those 30 seconds off, I found that I could recover pretty quickly. Especially, I don't know if you did this, but I took those offs really off. So I was really trying to recover as much as I could last week. So try to focus on that. Give it your 5K pace effort. So I think I was trying to focus to be around 620 pace. So it was definitely a hard effort, but
Yeah, I'll do
nothing
7 minutes.
nothing unreasonable. And then make sure you get that 20-minute cool down in as well. And then Saturday off, and then Sunday, just like today, 70 minutes on with the last 10 minutes up tempo.
Awesome. And one thing I found I was gonna see if you use this, but for the Fartleks, there's a app called Multi Timer,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to do like interval and like repeating timers. So I don't know. Some digital watches do it, but it can be a little complicated to set up a repeating timer. I don't know. Do you have like two watches and you just kind of set them simultaneously, or how do you time your fartleks? Are you looking at your watch and just going off look and feel?
There's been times where I've just started my timer on my watch and just watched it, but I think that's kind of tiresome.
Yeah,
My watch has a fartlek setting, and so I will set. It'll tell me how many. It'll ask me how many repeats I've got, and then it'll chime down to the next interval. So it'll start to beep like I think it's like 5 seconds or maybe 3 seconds before the next interval. And so I just listen to that pattern, and that makes life a lot easier because that's what I used to do. Was I used to I don't know if you remember in high school, we used to run together, and then one person would say start and stop. I I've found better tools though, but you wouldn't catch me dead running with my phone on a fartlek.
That's Gucci. What kind of watch you got?
I've got a Garmin Forerunner. I think it's 725.
Garmin Forerunner 725. I might check that out. That sounds pretty cool. But yeah,
It's yeah.
I miss the whistle. That's what I remember. I remember
Oh
running
yeah.
and then just hearing the whistle from across the field and just a
That's
sigh of
right.
relief.
Yeah.
I was
And I
never
think
fast enough to stay with you guys in your watches.
it wasn't a lot of fun, MJ. I think any Garmin watch, yeah, I really think any Garmin watch has that setting. Um, so I think you're probably in good shape as long as I don't know that an Ironman watch would have it, but I think any running watch would.
Yeah, that's gonna be my to-do list for the Apple Watch because I the multi-timer is pretty good. Like I could set it up, but I don't know if there's a more native app. So I'll do some looking on the internet to see if there's any Fartlek recommendations. But yeah, it sounds like. Oh, did you say the next Monday? Just in case people are listening to
Oh,
this on a Monday.
yeah, I can absolutely tell you what that is. Next Monday, we'll be looking at another 8 miles with the 6 20-second strides.
All right, that sounds good. Got any last thoughts before we get back to running?
No, I think I've got to focus on enjoying it a little bit more. Find the fun in it and go find a place that I want to run. I hope that you're doing the same because burnout is a very real thing. Don't want our bodies to be fatigued and then our minds to be fatigued as well.
I
So
agree.
let's go have a good time with it this week.
And get some sleep, Clark. You need
Oh,
sleep.
thank you. Thanks for looking out for me, MJ.
All right, guys. Well, have a great another week of marathon training, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Mike White Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mike White Pod, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all have a great day.